Hope is all we have, all we need on this journey. Love is what we give when we receive, so keep it burning. Gift your soul and let it be. Soon you'll find your gift of legacy. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you.
Faith will keep you strong where you belong. Just believe it. Dreams to help you grow, to reap and sow. You receive it.
So gift your soul and let it be. Soon you'll find your gift of legacy. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you.
Gets me every time, right here, where it counts. So good evening, everybody, and welcome on this wonderful Wednesday evening. If you've just joined us, we are all signing in from beautiful South Africa, different parts. I'm from Sedgefield, and Jen and Adele are from the south of Johannesburg. It's so lovely to be on screen with both of them. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of presenting with Adele. And of course, Jenny and I haven't presented either. We've just been in core presentations together. So it's so wonderful to share the screen with the two of you. You both are such important people within the GL behind the scenes community. And yeah, we've got a lot of really interesting things to discuss. And hopefully after this, our community will have more clarity when it comes to algorithms and how the boards work.
Hi, Candz. It's lovely to be here. Hi, Jenny. Lovely to see you again.
Hi, Candz. Hi, Adele. And Candz, I must agree with you. That song, every time it gets you, it gives me flutterbies in my heart. And it's just so uplifting. It doesn't matter what you've been through in the space that you're in. You hear that and it just like, it's beautiful. And so it's just so nice to be in such a lovely space with both of you this evening and with everybody else that's joined us on the call as well.
So we've got Granny Sylvia saying hello. We've got Merle. We've got Stephen. We've got Shireen and Roy under the guise of Set Yourself Free. I love that. Beverly, Patty, Jan from 5 degrees Celsius in Canada. I am sweating here. Today has been the first boiling hot day that we've had. And it's raining outside, but my house is still very, very warm. Who else have we got? We've got Boniface, Beverly. I'm guessing that's Heidi, Mia, and Marie. So welcome, welcome. So wonderful to have you all with us. And yeah, and Glynis and MMM. And I think without any further ado, we've got some lovely, lovely things to discuss. And I think the first subject that we'll discuss is algorithm. And Adele went and did some research And having studied Facebook digital marketing, I didn't even know that when I was studying it in the year 2017, 2018, I didn't even realize that the algorithm for Facebook had changed to actually rather regard emoticons as opposed to likes. And we were all paying for likes. So they'd pulled the wool over our eyes with that one. So Adele, I am going to just make sure that the slides are in the right order. Take them back to the first one. And let's share. All righty.
Thank you. So when we start talking about algorithm, many of us haven't grown up with the word algorithm. And most of you know who I am, that I'm an occupational therapist by profession. And at the moment in South Africa, the biggest craze with kids is Rubik's Cube. And there are a myriad of different Rubik's Cubes. They're not just the 3x3s, there's 6x6s, 2x2s, there's transformer ones, there are golden ones. It's amazing. There's a little boy came to therapy with about 20 different Rubik's Cubes. And he said to me, Auntie Adele, do you know the algorithm for Rubik's Cube? And he could have knocked me off my chair. He's 6 years old and he's got a learning difficulty and he knows the word algorithm. So I thought, no, really, we need to start investigating this word algorithm that has become so much part of our GL language. So what is an algorithm? And that's why I've got the picture of the Rubik's Cube there, because we all understand what a Rubik's Cube is. And I've never solved one in my life. The best way for me was to pull the stickers off or break the cubes and stick them back. We don't need to do that to solve an algorithm. An algorithm is a series of instructions that a computer program uses to manage data. So it's just a set of rules that any program uses to solve something. And there's an algorithm for solving a Rubik's Cube. If you go and Google it, it tells you move this one left, this one right, spin this, turn that. I got lost after the third sentence, so I'm not going to even go there. But all you need to do is follow the guidelines. And if you do that and you follow the guidelines, you can solve the puzzle. So if you've really got the patience and the time, go and Google how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Follow the algorithm, and you won't have to pull the stickers off, and you won't have to break the cube. You'll be able to solve it. So we're going to talk about that a bit more tonight, Candz?
Absolutely.
So I also did some research. I love Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. And I recently started hearing about this Facebook algorithm. So went to go and find out some more information about the Facebook algorithm. Basically, how Facebook algorithm works is it determines what each user sees. Now, I don't know if you're like me, you will be talking to a friend, or you might put a post out. Just for the first time ever, you might put a post out about pecan nut pie. And then tomorrow you're going to start getting adverts and posts about pecan nut pies. And you think, oh my goodness, there's like a big brother watching me. It's not really. It's just the Facebook algorithm picking up on keywords. So the Facebook algorithm is determining what each user sees. Not everybody in the world tomorrow is going to hear about pecan nut pies, but I am, because I asked about it or I posted about it. So the goal of the Facebook algorithm is to keep people on the platform engaged for as long as possible. And the reason for that is so that we look at the adverts. That's where Facebook makes its money. So you're not going to stay on Facebook. For me, if I'm seeing posts about Formula One racing, sorry, Dad, but if I'm seeing posts about Formula One racing, I'm switching Facebook off. But if I'm seeing posts about pecan nut pies, I'm going to read it. If I'm seeing things about butterflies or elephants or things that I enjoy, I'm going to stay on the platform, and then I'm going to see the adverts. My dad, on the other hand, if he sees Formula One racing, he's going to see it, and he's not too interested in the recipe for pecan nut pie. So Facebook is making us see what we need to see based on our activity. So I started looking back at the history, and this is the history of the Facebook algorithm. The algorithm has not changed, but there's been some tweaks and changes along the way, and we'll get to the end, and the reason for it is the end of it. So the first thing in 2009, the algorithm on Facebook decided that if you like a post with a thumbs up, with a like, those kinds of posts will be bumped to the top, and those are the things that you would see more often. Then in 2015, they started to downgrade posts that had promotional content. So if you were promoting some kind of business or a charity event or whatever you were promoting, those posts were downgraded. People apparently in 2015 didn't want to see that. Okay,
And that's when
2006.
sorry to interrupt, Adele, but that's when they actually started pushing paid ads. So they didn't want to promote anything that was posted for free. And if you got a lot of engagements and a lot of likes, they downgraded that so that a paid ad would supersede the free posting.
Well, yeah, that will make total sense then. Okay, then 2016, they started to check and implement a time spent signal and to see if a post was reshared. So if you just look at a post and you glance over it, it's not going to show that you're spending time on it. But if you're actually reading it and looking at it and spending time there and you reshare it, those posts are going to be more frequently shared by the Facebook algorithm. 2017, they started weighing other reactions over the likes. So whereas before, if people liked your post, it was great. Everyone was running around chasing likes. How many people liked my post? 2017, there was a shift. Now the important posts were the ones that got the emojis, the hearts, the angry faces. And also they looked at if you completed watching the entire video. So it's like our YouTube channel. Don't go on and just watch for 10 seconds. That's not going to boost our YouTube channel. You need to watch the entire recording. And you need to watch it not only to keep algorithms going, but so you can get all the information. And that's what Facebook were trying to teach people to do. Don't just watch the first 10 seconds of a video. So that all came in 2017. 2018, they looked at posts that spark interaction and meaningful conversations. So it wasn't just a peanut pie anymore. Now we were talking about the health benefits of peanut pies and how you could, develop your recipe to do whatever, something that's meaningful and got people engaging and talking. So it's the same algorithm, but more things were now required of it to work effectively for you. 2019, Facebook started to prioritize quality videos and the time that they are watched. It also started to bump up posts from close friends that you've seen most. So if I'm looking at Candace's posts and Jenny's posts, I'm going to see more of them. So that's, I don't know if you remember, but that's when we started seeing posts on Facebook and saying, I didn't know this, but I can alter the Facebook algorithm. And now if I share this, I'm going to start seeing posts of my other friends. Because you start seeing the same people over and over and over, and you aren't seeing all of your friends on Facebook because you're not liking their posts. So if you want to start seeing other people's posts, you need to start tagging them, liking their posts, putting the emojis on, watching their videos, the amount of time you're engaged. All of these things are now adding up for you to see more than just peanut pies. I don't know why I'm stuck on peanut pies, but I must be hungry. Okay. Then 2020, the users were starting to be given information. Candz, have I lost you? Are we back again? Okay, 2020 is when the pandemic hit, and that's why we lost the slide. So we're just going to go back to it. We're going to find it. But yeah, just remember in 2020, there was the pandemic and people were more online and online businesses were growing and people were using Facebook to market and connect. So Facebook were really on top of that. And they started giving users more information about the algorithm and how to control data. They also looked at the credibility and the content of posts and evaluated it to promote sustainable news. So just prior to 2020 or late 2019, 2020, we all know about the unrest in the UK and the US and how that was all filtered out to communities on Facebook posts. So now they started looking at credibility of content and how we could get sustainable news, not just people putting posts to go out and create riots. So Facebook were very much on top of everything, same algorithm, but they were reacting to what was happening around them and making sure that they made the necessary changes to adapt to that. Then 2021, they released even more information about the algorithm and better access to data than ever before. Here's the key thing. Now, this is not just talking about the Facebook algorithm, but it's relating to all algorithms. It's the same algorithm with new scenarios which increase user experience. And that really stood out for me, because when I started looking at all of this about algorithms, with all the questions that we get as support, and people saying, but what is this algorithm? And I was asking my own questions. Algorithms stay the same. They change according to scenarios and what is happening, and making adaptations so that us as the users get the best user experience. Candz, do you want to add anything there?
I think that's very fascinating. And yes, I mean, so many things have changed within Facebook, but the algorithm remains the same. You know, if they had to rewrite an algorithm for Facebook, we wouldn't have access to Facebook for at least a couple of days, probably months, but you know, so there's no ways that they can rewrite it or change it. They just have to add to it. So yeah, I agree with you. And that's a great explanation. Jen?
Yeah, I just want to add that changes are inevitable. You know, no ecosystem is ever static. Every ecosystem everywhere is dynamic and has to change. And if an ecosystem doesn't change to accommodate the community that it serves, then it's stuck, it's stagnant, and it's going nowhere, and then it will serve nobody. So, you know, I think GL, just going to GL and tying it in with Facebook, as Facebook has had to change to adapt to its ecosystem, which is changing, you know, the same things, and we'll chat about that a little later, has happened in the GL scenario as well. And guys, if things don't change, if Facebook didn't make all these changes, Facebook wouldn't be what it is today. It would have been a Noah's Ark, and nobody can stay a Noah's Ark. Everybody has to move and preempt what the times are predicting and what changes need to be made. So with all regulating authorities in whatever it is, whether it be Facebook, GL, your community, doesn't matter. They have to preempt what is coming next, make the relevant changes to accommodate the scenarios that they are predicting. So it's been very, very interesting, Adele, looking at the Facebook scenario and seeing the changes as it's gone along. Thanks so much for all that research. Wow.
It's a pleasure, Jen. And I'm glad you used the word dynamic, because even in my presentations, when I presented with Tim last night, I always say that GL is a dynamic community. A community is never the same. There's always things changing, people coming and going, leaving, people growing up, new births. It's a cycle of life. We are dynamic, and you have to stay plugged in to find out what is happening in the dynamic community, because else you're going to be working with outdated information. Can you imagine if we all believed that we could change the Facebook algorithm simply by liking things? I mean, I don't even use like anymore. I do use the emojis, because a like is almost like saying, yeah, that's nice. But a love and an angry face or a wow or a sad face just gives someone, I'm the image girl, I like pictures. So I would much rather use pictures. If I was liking everything, what boring things would I be seeing, right? So what is an algorithm? It's a step-by-step process that is completed the same way every time. Think of baking a cake. You've got a recipe. I'm not great at following recipes. I like tweaking them and changing them. But the basics of a cake work the same. Mill's on the call, and Mill and her son shared a recipe with me early this year, and I swear by it. I'm making it all the time. I share it with everybody I know, and I'm constantly baking it. It is the easiest, most successful cake recipe. You're welcome to contact me. I'll share it with you. I love it. But it's so simple, and it's something I almost know out of my head by now. So that's an algorithm, baking a cake. Jenny and I are both occupational therapists. One of the things we teach children is tying shoelaces. There are two ways to tie a shoelace, right? There's the make a loop, go around the tree and pull it. We call that around the tree way. And then there's the other way where you make two bunny ears and you tie those together and you make the bow. So there are two ways to tie laces. There's not another way. Yes, there's the one hand. We also know the one-handed lace tying one for our patients who are disabled. But essentially, there's only a limited amount of ways to tie a shoelace. And if you don't get that right, you buy Velcro for your kids who are really disabled. So that's an algorithm, tying shoelaces. Doing your laundry has an algorithm. You're going to sort your laundry into different colors. You're going to make sure you've got the correct pile. You put it into your machine, whether it's a front loader, top loader, or you're using a bath. You've got a system that you use to wash your clothing. You're not going to put your fabric softener in before you put the washing powder in. You're not going to iron your clothes and then put them in the tub of water. There's a sequence. Life is all about sequences, and an algorithm is just a sequence of events. The way we solve long division, now I'm not a maths girl. I'll give that credit to all of you people who like numbers. I don't like doing sums. But I remember my teachers drilling into me, this is the way you have to solve a sum. In fact, to pass my final year leaving exams, my sister sat me down and she said, don't try and get answers. You're not going to get them. We need to do 5 steps of every sum. I was failing and I needed to pass. She sat me down with past papers and she taught me 5 steps of every sum. And that's all I did. And I got the marks I needed and I got into university. I needed to learn that sequence and what to do. I didn't need to know the answer. I just needed the algorithm to show them I knew what was going on. And then I've talked about the Rubik's Cube. So those are algorithms that we use every day. And yet we freaked out by this word algorithm because we didn't grow up with it. But kids today, algorithm just means how to solve a puzzle that they're all playing with. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. So don't let the algorithm puzzle you. It is used for calculation, data processing, and automated reasoning. In Gift of Legacy, we have an algorithm. Gift of Legacy is an algorithm. Gift of Legacy is a website. The website is an algorithm, and the algorithm makes the calculations, handles the data, and makes the automated reasoning and tells you, hey, you're a gift on this board now. You need to contact the legend and send in the gift. Now you're going to join that board. That's what Gift of Legacy is, essentially, is an algorithm. But we are also a community of like-hearted, like-minded people. So it's very simple. Follow the guidelines. Join Gift of Legacy with an unconditional gift of $100. Invite 2 like-hearted, like-minded individuals to join you. Teach them the same algorithm and color your world.
Beautiful, beautiful. And, you know, with regards to Gift of Legacy, like Jen said, you know, we had to launch because we were 5 months behind. We put our trust in people that let us down at the last minute. We were hoping to launch before Christmas and we went without any gifts for Christmas in 2021. So in January, we knew that there were a lot of people really depending on this and us as well. So we made a promise to the community that we would carry on building while the plane was in the air. So it started off with things going crazy, obviously, because so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people were joining. And initially, let me just paint a little picture for you. I don't remember the exact amount, so please don't quote me. But we had migrators. So we did not start a program with people starting from the beginning and working their way up. We allowed the migrators, as best as we could, to put them in positions on board levels as close to what they were on in the precursor program. And when those boards were all populated, none of them...
Sorry.
So none of them had gifters. So we had bronze boards, let's just say 100 bronze boards that had no gifters. We had 50 silver boards that had no gifters. We had 25 gold boards, no gifters. And then we started off with 1 platinum board. So what happened was initially when people were joining and the boards were spinning, the algorithm allowed for 8 gifters at a time to come to the board. And you kind of figured it out that if somebody was on date number 15th of January and their board was filling and your board was on the 16th of January, you kind of knew that it was your turn next. But are you understanding me when I'm saying that there were boards populated already that required gifters? Once all of those boards, so the 100 boards, the 50 silver boards, the 25 gold boards, and the 1 platinum board, once they all had gifters, then it slowed down, because now the algorithm had to wait for all of the people that were joining to complete the bronze board and then join a silver board as a gifter. Then wait for all of the people that they'd brought behind them to push them from gifter to builder to guide and then to legend. So you'll get to legend because of the people that you've brought in. So it's really, really important that we understand that. And then, of course, once you complete the silver, the same thing's going to happen on your gold. So it will take longer for you when you've started at bronze to get to the levels. But we forget as migrators that we already got the best seats in the house. And all that we were required to do was bring to, that would be educated to bring to, that would be educated to bring to. So the algorithm is still there. Now, when we had to decide to do auto remove and trickle up, and the choice for a profile to be quit, we had to do that because all of us know that there were a lot of migrated positions that came over, that put space fillers in. A lot of people brought positions over and put names and numbers where when we contacted the people, they didn't even know what Gift of Legacy was. They didn't even know that they had a position. So we knew that something needed to be done because we didn't have enough people supporting the people that migrated to push them through the other people that were slowing and blocking the boards. So we had to make a decision, because when somebody decides to quit or when a profile is deleted, what happens to the inviter and the invitees? We had 2 choices. We just let somebody that quits break the chain that's all linked together, and then they become a head of a snake, and whoever comes in underneath them is underneath them. But then what happens to the poor inviter? The inviter, I might have been the inviter. I invited Jenny. Jenny invited Adele. Now Jenny leaves. Is it fair that Adele is not tied to me? So we really looked at all of the scenarios here, and we had to do what was best for the community and, of course, for the program. So we had to make sure that everybody was tied to each other. So when it came to the migrators, originally you guys were all responsible for cross-pollination because you didn't have an inviter. So you landed up going to the oldest board, and then whoever came in behind you would have supported your movement. But we had to put everybody together and make everybody have an inviter so that if a chain was, or a link in the chain was broken, that we would still link back together again. So Adele's new, she joined in July, for example, and she's brought 50,000 people with her. And now person number 25,000 decides they don't want to be involved and they quit. Now that would have separated Adele from 25,000 people. So we needed to make sure that everybody would still be connected so that the people that invited the people below them wouldn't be separated. And in doing so, we had to make a choice with the new extra rule of the algorithm. And that was that follow your inviter has to take precedence over going to the oldest board. So you will always follow your inviter. So with people that were used to getting loads and loads of gifters, there's 2 things that happened there. There were a lot of accounts that were just moving around the system that weren't gifting. And I'm sure many of you have had the experience of removing 100 to 200 gifters before you actually got those 8. So in the process of elimination, we've got rid of all of that extra weight that was just coming onto boards and creating a terrible user experience for legends. I mean, it's your time to receive. It's a time to sit back and enjoy being called and, said, like, I'm on your board, how would you like your gift? Instead, it turned around to us debt collecting and asking for our gifts. I mean, have you ever had a birthday party and invited people and said at the door, where's my present, before you come in? No, that's not what a gift is all about. So you will still go to the oldest board if your inviters board is full, and I'll go through that in a little while when we get to the slide that explains the board. So I'll just repeat that again. The algorithm has had to favor follow your inviter over cross-pollination. And that is for your benefit. It's so that if people decide to leave or they haven't been engaged since they signed up, that they don't cut off your receiving and you from the rest of your tribe. At the moment, those people were blocking your abundance because they were just filling space and they weren't adding anything to Gift of Legacy. So we've had to have a little bit of a process where we need to move people out of the way. And again, with big chaos comes change, and it's always good change. But in order to create change, we have to go through a little bit of chaos. And that's where we're at now. But the algorithm is not broken. It's never been broken. It was just taken advantage of by the energy of greed that we did not in a million years expect when we launched this beautiful gifting and receiving platform.
Yeah, that's right, Candz. I've been one of those legends. I've removed 200, I think it was about 220 gifters off my gold board. In fact, I was about to make an infographic for gold dusting, because that's a phrase I coined. I'd gold dusting on my gold board, and I was silver shining on my silver board. And that was that debt collecting, contacting people and removing them. And it took the joy and the pleasure out of it. And the algorithm certainly hasn't changed. It's just done what it's always done, protected the sustainability and longevity of Gift of Legacy. It's to protect us, the community.
You are muted, Candz.
We can't hear you, Candz.
You're muted.
So Jen, did you want to add anything before I move on to the next slide?
No, Candz. I'm quite happy with that. Just to reiterate that it's actually quite funny when people say, what has happened? Has the algorithm broken? Does it exist? Has it gone? Has it left? Because Gift of Legacy wouldn't exist if that happened with the algorithm. So, and also just to reinforce that it's the same algorithm that we started with, just incorporating different scenarios as we've grown. So, yeah, and that's always, as you've said as well, just to make sure that we're looking after everybody and that everybody is taken care of. If we didn't make those changes, then people would get left behind. And the fact that
Gift of Legacy is the algorithm, Jen. We are the algorithm.
Exactly. And the thing is, prioritizing follow your inviter is so much more important than prioritizing cross-pollination. We used to call it cross-pollination. I like to call it just contribution to community boards. And that still happens, but it's got to happen in the minority. It can't be more important than your initial action as an inviter inviting invitees. That is the most important action.
And I have to say, I've been putting myself out there and offering to jump onto smaller community Zooms and really just try and support the smaller communities, because it's important to get ourselves out there. And what's happened over the last 10 months is, although we would like these Zooms to be well attended, because this is where you get the information first and then it gets diluted through the community. And that's why we still do a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday. But we understand that obviously new communities are formed, other people start presenting, they have a different way of talking, they know how to speak a certain language to the audience that they're speaking to. So I've been joining a lot of calls, and today I was on a call and we were on there for about an hour and 20 minutes. The energy was just beautiful. We were all crying because people were saying that they've become legend. and the unity and the energy was just beautiful. And that is my why. That is why I fought so hard to be part of the co-creation, because I had a vision of a new world. And I really, really thought that with that vision, it would attract the people that had the same vision. And it has. And that's so beautiful. But at the same time, when you've got a light and it's so bright, everybody wants to come close to it. And that includes the shadow. And I thank the shadow because it's allowed us to create an amazing program compared to 10 months ago. And it really is looking after the community. And that's what it's all about. It's about community, uplifting one another, and not waiting until you get your gift. It's about being proactive. You know, even if you ask the universe for something or you manifest it and you visualize every day and you've watched The Secrets and you've got a vision board, if you just sit up every morning and stare at that vision board, nothing's going to happen, because all you are doing is staring at the vision board. Now, let's just use an example of a mansion. You've got a mansion on your vision board and you wake up every day and you look at this mansion. Nothing's going to happen. If you take a little bit of action, and I'm not saying you need to go now find a new job and find that salary that's going to give you millions. It's going to that job that you have and doing the best that you can because of the vision that you've got. So it's applying yourself in whatever capacity that you can to the best of your ability, so that the universe can feel the action and bring this actualization closer to you. If you're waking up and just staring at it, it's not going to happen. You've got to just take a little bit of action. And it's so beautiful seeing these new communities that aren't part of anything, that they've just come in. Gift of Legacy is the first program that they've ever joined, and they are flying. They're not stuck because they understand the power of bringing in two, that understand that if they bring in two, that they too have to bring in two, and it's got to start there. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that we made when we were presenting for 5 months was we said, you know, for those of you that came over with us and we started together, all we asked was to just bring two. But that was taken literally, and people just brought two, and it ended there. And it can't, because the 2 by 2 by 2 pushes you from gifter to builder to guide to legend. And if you are a numbers person, I'm not really, but I like to know numbers that will help me succeed. So if you start off as a gifter and you want to know how to quickly go to legend, make sure that you can find 40 people. And I'm not saying sign 40 people underneath you, but 40 people that are brought in, 2 and then 4 under those 2 and then 8 under those 2 and 16 under those 2. When you get to 40 people, that's generally when you're receiving as a legend. And I mean, how amazing is that? And once you're receiving as a legend, the energy changes completely, because now you are receiving and you are the legend, and you can hand down your legacy, and you can concentrate on the 40 people that have now been brought in, and you've created that. You are the leader of that. And from those 40, 80 will come, and 160 and 320. And that is the beauty of this. And it's just about sharing this from your heart. If we're in the energy of desperation and waiting, we are matching the energy of this reality. We are here to change the reality that we're in with Gift of Legacy. We're not going to get stuck in the reality that we are in now. And if you are stuck with your mindset, watch Jenny O'Boyle's Monday Motivation. We've repeated it for a reason. We repeated on Monday night, the first one. So if you can and you haven't watched it, watch it. And then tune in the next 2 Mondays for 2 and 3, because the way that she explains and how to deal with your monkey mind is just absolutely beautiful. And it will really, really help to shift your mindset from competition to unity, from fighting and being an underdog to making sure that we all rise up together. And it's not about putting yourself first. It's about making sure that the people that you bring in get there. And that's when you're successful. Not when you get to legend. It's when the people that you brought in get to legend.
You put it so
Absolutely.
beautifully, Candy.
Candz, I'm going to add something to your mansion scenario. I like that scenario. Because you know what, even if you're going to work and doing the best that you can at your job, and you've got that mansion on your vision board, if you have not hopped onto Google and gone to look at mansions that are available and started actually taking a step towards the achievement of that mansion, look at them. And see, where do you want it, in which area, what should it look like? No, I like this one, I don't like that one, I like that lounge or whatever, and start actually being in that dream. And suddenly my brain said, but you know what, that's exactly what happens when we contact people. I can sit here and I can think, oh, you know what, I need 10 people. I really need 10 people, and I need people for my board. But have I picked up my friggin' phone and opened it and looked at the contacts and made a list and connected with them? Same as, have you got onto Google and looked at the mansion that you want? So it's exactly the same thing. We have to reach out, we have to take the step, we have to take the action, otherwise those people ain't coming onto the board.
So true. And that 30-day challenge, and it doesn't matter if you haven't started, because your 30 days can begin today. It can begin in 5 days' time, but commit yourself to it and follow the process, because I started it. And all I did was I went through my phone. I think I posted that I've got 1,900 contacts on my phone. I've only got to 30, and this is just writing them down. And because I haven't been in touch with a lot of people since I left Cape Town, I've written names down and I've really thought about that person and, wondered where they are, wondered if they'd be a good fit. And 2 people that were on that list contacted me out of nowhere, because I've already pulled them in with the energy of love and care. And it's just so beautiful. So, just if you're scared of phoning people, just do the first step. Take your list, your phone, write down the names, think about each name with love, send them love, and just focus on that for now. Focus on that for now, because I'm not a network marketer. I hated the idea of trying to find 2 people, because it's so not me. But doing it this way and organically and just reaching out to people and seeing how they are and rekindling my relationships has gotten me so far already. And I started with Chris. Chris inspired me. He started building. He was a builder on a board, and he just started there. And I did the same thing. I've shared this on a lot of boards that I'm on, but my mom's board was a legend and 2 guides. She was a legend, and there were 2 guides left, and there was nobody else. And I looked at this board and I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? Now it's not about 2 people. It's about like 8. And I thought, I've got 2 choices here. I can freak out and make this negative, or I can look at this positively. And I managed to get people to come and join that board, and we're all together. And the energy is amazing, because the mistake that I made before was I invited at Legend. And at Legend, when I invited, why did I invite? Because my guides and my builders weren't doing anything. Because if they were, then I wouldn't have felt the need to invite. So I filled the board. I put 8 gifters in. And then, of course, I left. I went on to my perpetual journey, and I kind of abandoned them because they were now on boards with people that weren't communicating. So the energy kind of got stagnant. And because I wasn't there to motivate them, and I was so busy with everything else, nothing really happened. But now they are on fire. And the lady that was a guide, I don't even know her, but she is so excited with the new energy that's there. She's even signed up a person, and she was white for the last 10 months. So the minute you get people to join and the energy is electric, it's unstoppable. It's like a rolling stone, or a snowball, should I say. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger the further down the hill it goes.
So, Candz, what I find is so many people are scared of their phones. The fear of rejection and failure, we know, is very real. And this instrument is the instrument that causes fear of rejection and failure. So I don't know where I heard this the other day, but it was amazing. And it made me think of you, because you love your magic. And it's Candz magic, and there's a lot of magic around. And somebody said, and I don't know where I read it, but I read it somewhere, and they said, we all have a magic wand. And this is our magic wand. And you know what I really liked about what they said? Is that we can put any spell on there that we want. Because what do we do on this phone? We spell when we type a message. We are spelling. We are making a spell. Guys, the message that you send to your people is the magic spell that you are using to create magic by using your wand. So when you pick this up and you want to reach out to people, don't look at it as a phone. Look at it as a magic wand and put your magic spell on that wand and share the magic of GL using your magic spell. And it just makes it all so much lighter and more fun.
Jen, I know exactly who that was. That's what Trevor always says.
Was it
He always
Trevor?
says it.
I can't remember
Trevor
where I
says
got it, but
it.
I've been using it and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Trevor is one of my invitees, and I'm not scared of my phone. I love my phone.
Yes.
Even now I'm
Yes.
presenting on my phone. I'm not like you guys that do GL on your laptops. I do GL on my phone because it's with me in between my appointments, running around being a mom, in the queues, in my car, in the parking lot. I do GL on my phone. I present GL by opening up the website and showing the boards. I show people GL. Now with the link tree, it's so much easier. I can just quickly pop up something on my link tree and show people on my phone. But Trevor is my invitee, and he put a post on Facebook, and
Right.
he was
Yes.
speaking GL. He was talking about alignment and abundance, and I left him a message on his post, and I said, Trev, we need to talk. And he contacted me the next day, and I sent him the 90-second video, and he said, I'm in, and he's joined. And he's the one that says your phone is a magic wand. And Jenny taught me everything I know about talking to people, because Jenny is the first person who introduced me to online earnings. And I remember clearly, Jenny, you will remember, Jenny came to speak to me in my office at home. And when she was leaving, we were standing by her car, and I said, Jen, I will do everything you tell me to do, but I will not talk to people. You will never see me talking to people, Jen. Jen, I will give you names. I will do everything, but I'll never speak to people. So she said, give me 10 names tomorrow. Gave her 10 names. She said, great, give me 20. Next day, I gave her 20. I was very proud of myself. She said, give me 40. And then eventually I got bored, and I said, Jen, this is getting ridiculous now. She said, great, give me more than yesterday. And she kept asking me to give names. And I started messaging people during hard lockdown on Facebook. That's why I'm passionate about Facebook, because I started fishing on Facebook, not for Gift of Legacy, for something else. But the skills that I learned then maybe didn't reap rewards then, but they have given me the ability and the confidence to do what I do now. This evening, I was sharing with my son over dinner. This evening, I got a message from someone. Hi, Adele. So-and-so gave me your name and number. We're looking to raise funds. Can you help me? And we need 12,000 Rand to host the function. I'm not in a position to help you with 12,000 Rand, but this is how I'm generating extra income. Linktree, boom, done. And there's no fear, there's no worry, because why? Because I'm so used to doing it. Last night, before I presented at 6 o'clock, and it's a routine Jen knows, I have done every day since I started using my phone properly. I check my WhatsApp status. It is such a powerful tool. Last night, I checked who had seen my status that I shared in the morning. There were 108 people. 8 of them are already in Gift of Legacy. And the other 100 got a personal invitation to last night's call from me. Was I fearful of them? No. Because it's just a phone, sending a message. If they don't want to react, they don't react. But I'm watching time here. So there are everyday algorithms that we all need to look at. And we are not scared of these algorithms. You're not scared of traffic lights. We call them robots in South Africa. We're not scared of them. You learn to read them. You can see when the orange is coming. I'm teaching my son to drive. And I said to him, when you're in that zone, you know, when the white line just before the traffic light, there's the white line, the solid line, you're not supposed to overtake then. I said to him, if you're in that zone and it's orange, you floor it because then you're going to get through the robot. But if you're coming before that white line and it turns orange, you must brake because then you're going to go over the line. You see, I can read the algorithm of the traffic light. Okay, it's not the best driving instructor lesson, but you've got to feel these things. I know how to sort papers. I don't like doing it, but there's an algorithm to doing it. Those of you who travel on buses or public transport, trains, there's a schedule. There's an algorithm to that. Facial recognition on computers and how our phones recognize our eyes is all done by algorithm. When you do Google search, there's algorithm. I don't understand this. I know you computer people understand it, but duplicating outcomes, I don't understand it, but it's an algorithm. So yes, there's some things that I look at and I go, I don't really understand that, but that's okay. But they exist and they work. So we don't need to be fearful of the gift of legacy algorithm. It's just one of those sequences. So should we tell them how the gift of legacy algorithm works, Candz?
Yes, let's do that. Okay.
Do you want to do it or should I go through it?
You do it. I'll do the next one.
Okay. So everybody is asking, where is the algorithm? The algorithm is gift of legacy. So if you want to see where it is, open the website and start using your website. That is the algorithm. That's exactly where it is. It's on your phone, it's on your laptop, and it should be in your heart because that's where the algorithm is for me. Okay. Rule number 1, you always follow your inviter. And everybody has an inviter. Those of us who migrated, we might not be following the person who initially invited us to a gifting activity, but we have been linked to the GGM profiles, to the angel accounts, to the angel profiles. So when you log onto boards now and you move up, you will see there's an angel on your board. Isn't that beautiful? We're following angels. We bless. Okay, if your inviter leaves you or leaves gift of legacy, you will then follow the next in line. Nobody is going to be left behind. The principle of Ohana still exists. We are a family. No one gets left behind. Your action creates algorithmic response on your board. So when you are active, the algorithm is more active on your board, but everybody has an algorithm on their board because that is what gift of legacy is. Rule number 2, the community boards, and that's a phrase we are going to use now, the community boards, which refers to what we previously called the oldest boards. The community boards are filled when your inviter's board is full. So if I am following Candz and I cannot, and her board is full, there's no space for me, I will not land on her board, I will go to a community board. If my inviter is not yet on that board, I will go to a community board. So if I am on my bronze and I fast track, and then I fast track onto gold, but my inviter is still on silver, I'm obviously not going to follow them on gold, so I'm going to go to a community board. If you are one of those naughty people who likes to join boards and ask to be removed, once you've done that 3 times, you're going to go and visit the community because you like checking people out and you like visiting. So we're going to give you the opportunity to go and visit on a community board, and then you're going to go back. Once you finish that cycle, you will continue with your inviter. But if you are one of those curious people that like to mingle, we're giving you the opportunity to mingle. You can go into community boards. So when the board splits and you join the original board on your perpetual cycle, that is also a time when you might be on a community board and not necessarily following your inviter. You will always follow your inviter again on the next cycle on the higher board, like we say, unless point 2 applies. So point 1 always stands, follow your inviter, then all those reasons there by point 2. But you will always go back and follow your inviter unless those reasons happen. So the algorithm is the same. Things have just changed and we have given you opportunities to go and visit the community should you want to do that. but you will always go back and follow your inviter. And that's where the algorithm is. It should be in your heart, and you should be sharing it with 2 like-minded, like-hearted people. That's it, ladies.
Mhm.
Brilliant. So I'm just going to remove this. I'm just waiting for the other one to upload. And I just wanted to chat with regards to what is happening now when a user decides to quit Gift of Legacy, and also if somebody has been removed because they have not been engaged on their boards. So first rule is you have to log in. If you do not log in for 14 days, you will get an email, provided that your email is verified. If you have not verified your email, please go and do so right now, because you will not get the notification. So after 14 days, you get the first notification to just say you haven't logged in. Your account will be deactivated if you're not engaged. And 7 days after that, so after 21 days of not logging in, you will get another email to warn you again and ask you to please make sure that you log in. Then at 28 days of no logging in, so 7 days after that, you will get another email that says you have chosen to quit Gift of Legacy. So the algorithm has now picked up that you have not logged into your account for 28 days, and now it has almost gone into like you've chosen to quit. So you have then 48 hours to go and activate your profile, and you do that by logging in, going onto your board, clicking on the red block that is around your username, and then a purple block will come up saying reactivate profile. Now we've been even nicer than sending 4 emails. We've extended the time that the red block is around your name for a further 7 days. So you've got 7 days to still go and reactivate your account. So 35 days altogether. It is really important that you remember that Gift of Legacy is an activity, and it is important that we remain active. It has never, ever, ever been an investment scheme. It's not like a bank where you can put your money in and sit back and not do anything. It's an activity, and we must remain active in our mission. So it's not a sit back and wait platform. A lot of people thought that they would sit back and wait to see if it was going to succeed. And unfortunately, the people that brought in two were succeeding, and other people that sat back and waited for the algorithm have unfortunately not been successful. But I can guarantee you that Gift of Legacy is working absolutely optimally, and it is exactly where we wanted it to go, apart from all the extra security things and the extra development that we had to pay for, where we could have been investing that money into our Love Heart and GGM positions. But unfortunately, we had scammers that we needed to deal with. And in order to deal with them, we had to pay our developer a lot of money to create all of these things. And I'm talking about things like auto join. Auto join happens because when you complete a bronze board, you have to. When you gave your sacred yes, you committed to all 4 boards. This isn't a program where you can just ride bronze over and over again, because why limit yourself? Like I said, we're changing this reality, and that is about abundance. And when you are just going on the bronze board over and over again, you're blocking your receiving of the big abundance that is all available to all of us, and we're all entitled to it. So once you've completed your bronze board as a legend, you get automatically joined onto a silver. Once you have gifted your legend on your silver board, you will be automatically joined to your bronze. And the same thing will happen to gold. Once you complete silver, you will have to go to gold, then silver. And if you happen to have skipped a board, once you complete the highest board, it will make you go and make you join all of the boards. So all of the boards, if you have got to platinum, have to go together. And why would you want to just leave a board and the team that you brought, by leaving a board? So it doesn't make sense. But things like that. Initially, we'd also changed for a while, which I can understand completely why the developer did this, but we had to change it back. And that was, you were not able to invite from being a legend or a guide. And he explained the scenario to us. And he said, when you're a guide or a legend, you can just put loads of names in. And I never really understood that until I landed myself on a board where I was a guide. It was a gold board. I was a guide, and I realized that the legend had maybe jumped all of his invitees, which all had the same name as him, and they were taking up all 8 gifter positions on the board. So the left side spun off. I was a guide on the right side, and he left 1 gifter open. So 2 of my team could not join that board, and he kept it like that for a week, and they ignored me and they wouldn't talk to me no matter what I tried. I thought that maybe there was a language barrier because they spoke Spanish, but they didn't really, they said hello, but they didn't really listen to what I was saying. And all of a sudden the board then spun after 3 weeks of this gifter just sitting there, and I've landed up in a legend position, which is fantastic, you would think, right? But I'm surrounded by 1 person that's taken the 4 builder spots and the 2 guard spots. And they tried to bully me as well. So somebody came into the gifter number 5 position and they said, well, this board's empty and we're all part of this team, so we're going to wait until your people join. And I said, no, my friend. In order to guarantee your spot and to be able to stay with your team, you must gift me so that I can confirm you on the board and so that your position is set in stone. And unfortunately, if you don't gift me or I don't hear back from you in 48 hours, I'm going to remove you. And it gave me a terrible feeling because I wasn't in the beautiful energy of gifting and receiving. I was in an energy of fighting to protect gift of legacy. And when another lady came onto the left side of the board in position number 1, I had that same energy and I directed it towards her. And I'm talking about energetically, but I just thought, oh, here's another one that's going to come try to take advantage of me. I didn't even have the energy of, oh my gosh, here's a gifter. This is so amazing, because I knew that she hadn't reached out to me straight away. On the board chat, she said she was so happy to be there, and they were all talking in Spanish, and I've put everything in Spanish as well as English, all my instructions, and she didn't contact me. And then I reached out to her, and then she blue ticked me on WhatsApp, and she never responded, just like the other people on the board. And I could have gone into victim mode and gone, oh, this is terrible. But I realized I created that. My point of view created my reality there, because she said she wasn't ready to gift. But with the energy that I was putting out, I don't think I would have wanted to gift me either. And I never said anything to her, but it was a big lesson for me. So she said she wasn't ready to gift. I removed her. I struck up a little bit of a conversation with her. I just wanted to know how her journey's been. And she was elated and really excited, and she's not part of that team. And I just kept asking the questions, what are the possibilities of getting a gift? Because I've realized my mistake and that my point of view created my reality. And I kid you not, there was a board that I was a guide on. It's actually the same account. And I didn't even realize that there were gifters on it. It was a silver board. And the board had spun yesterday, the 18th of October. And I was in a legend position and I didn't even realize. And today I got a message from Rebecca that normally does the sign language for us. And she said, Candz, check your silver board. And I was so excited because I was like, okay, she's maybe on the board and she can see a gifter. So I went onto the board and I saw that she was there. And I burst out crying because I knew that this person was involved in Gift of Legacy for the right reasons, and that her heart was there and her heart was pure. And I knew that she would be so excited to gift me. And then she called me and we spoke for an hour and a half, and it was just so beautiful. And she said she actually logged into that account feeling a little bit negative about it. And she was actually considering whether she should delete that profile. And she thought, oh, let me use the peak function. Let me just see where I could land up if I land up fast tracking from my bronze to my silver. And then she saw that I was there, and that motivated her to actually come onto the board. So I'm sharing this with you because it's all about the energy that we be. And it's changed now for me, and I'm in the beautiful energy. And I'm not going to let people that have taken advantage of the system dull my shine. Because when my team eventually gets to that gold board, I mean, even if they have to go through their gold board and become legends and come and join me perpetually, I'm willing to wait for them because that's what it's all about. So,
Oh,
excuse my
precious.
talking.
Nice.
Okay, and I'm just going to run through the board rules quickly. I know we've gone over time. The video that has been created that's on YouTube is pretty much spot on. There's just rule 2 that's changed. So I'm just going to go through rule 1. Rule 1 is that your invitee will always land as close as possible to inviter. And that is true. The only exception that we haven't explained on the video that's out is we've had board splitting in the meantime. So the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the board operate individually. So you could call them 2 boards on one for the way that the rules work. So if you are builder number 1 and your gifters are coming in, they are going to first land in gifter 1 and 2 position. If gifter 1 and 2 position is full and gifter 3 and 4 position is open, your invitees will land there. Now, when the board splits after the second round, they'll separate from you 1 stage earlier than what they would have if they were gifter number 1 and 2. So same rule applies. On builder 3 and 4, they will land as close as possible to their invitee. So left side stays with left side, right side stays with right side. If you are builder number 1 and all 4 gifter slots have been taken, but obviously they haven't been confirmed because otherwise it would create a new board, and your invitees come, it will say your inviters board is full. Even if slots 5 to 8 are open now, it will say your inviters board is full because, again, follow your inviter takes preference. And because the board splits, we always wanted our invitees to follow their inviter on the boards when they split. So when direct position under the inviter is full, it will look for the next available spot on the left if they're on the left, or on the right when they're on the right. Number 3, next available position will move from position 1 to position number 4, or position number 5 to 8. So it's split. Rule number 4, when the left side of the board or when the right side of the board is full with no available gifter positions, that is when your invitees can move to the oldest board. So only when it says your inviters board is full, then they will have the option to go to the oldest board. So in my case, when my gold board was being held up and my 2 invitees were ready to come on, I didn't want them to wait for me because I wanted them to enjoy the experience of having received their gifts and being able to move on to the next board and give straight away. We all know what happens when we're custodians of our gifts. If we wait too long with them, other expenses come up. So I didn't want to stop them from their journey. So they went to the oldest board. They didn't follow me, but they will come back to me when they finish on their gold boards. They'll come to my board if I'm still on that board. And yeah, so when you have quit and you've decided that you want to come back in, we didn't realize that would happen. So we had to get the developer to make a new algorithm to look after that because so many people didn't realize how important it was to log in. So if that has happened, please contact support@giftoflegacyglobal.com and send a screenshot of your board. If you are on a higher board than bronze, we would need a screenshot of your board or proof of your gifting, and we will be able to replace your position or reactivate your position, and you'll be placed on a board of the level. So if you had been removed and you were on a silver and a bronze board, we'll be able to put you back on a silver and bronze board. The only catch is we won't be able to put you on the same bronze board, even the same boards, even if there is space. Because of the way that the trickle up algorithm works, you will get sent to another board that is full. So let's say, for example, you were a guide on the silver and the bronze board, and now you have quit and you want to come back in. You will either land up as a builder or a guide on another board, but it won't be an empty board. It will be a board that literally needs one more person. So the algorithm is set to take you to a board that is as full as possible so that you've got a slot there, which means that you won't be with your inviter or your invitees, but on the next round, when you complete, you will go back to wherever they are. So you'll follow your inviter and your invitees will follow you onto the board that you're on now. So main thing is don't forget to log in. Keep engaged and you won't have that problem. Now, if you land up on a board where you are only the legend and everybody else is left, please contact support. We are going to work things out for you. We won't be able to put you in a legend position, but we can make sure you get onto a board that's full and that you're not all alone. If you're like me and you didn't want to wait for support to sort out a solution, try and build from where you're at. You could have the advantage of getting more than 8 gifts, because if you had 4 builder slots open, you could get 12 gifts. Or what I did, I just got my team back together and I said, let's get onto this board. And I just gave up on getting gifts and I just made sure that my whole team was together. And then at least I know in the next round, everybody that they've brought in will happily gift me. So that was a sacrifice that I was willing to make. I don't expect everyone else to do that. But if you are in a position where you're like alone and you're a leftover, then please just let us know and we will guide you through what to do. But everything has to come through support. And the reason being is we have tickets. We need to have a paper trail so that we can prove everything if we ever had to be audited and show that this is exactly what's happened, exactly where you were. And we can only do that through support. So if you WhatsApp me pictures of your boards or you WhatsApp Melissa or Adele or Merle, they're not going to be able to help you. So rather just contact support at giftoflegacyglobal.com and we will be able to help you. Okay. Anything either of you want to add before we wrap up?
I think you've nailed everything you can. Thank you. I know the community have been asking lots of questions. We've been having lots of debates with you as support. And believe me, when I say we hear what you say, and I'm always the one that goes to the core and says, but what about this? But what if, and what if? I hear all those questions. Mil and I hear them a lot. And the one question was, but I've brought my 2, do I need to bring more? No, you don't, but you need to help your 2 to bring 2. If everybody just coached, supported, helped, guided their 2 to bring 2, then it wouldn't be difficult. So you don't have to bring in 40 people. You bring in 2 and teach them to do the same. The algorithm has never changed. You join Gift of Legacy with $100 unconditional gift. You invite 2 like-hearted, like-minded people, and you teach them to do the same. That's it. Thanks, Candz. Thanks, Jenny. It's been a pleasure.
I hope that we've answered all of your questions and please use the support button. We really are here to help you and we want the best for our community and for Gift of Legacy. And I'm just so proud to be a part of this. And yes, we've had some negativity and some dark, but we've shone the light on it. And now we can just move forward. Let's move forward, fresh new beginnings, new energy, and let's just focus on bringing new blood into this beautiful platform. Another mistake that many people made is that they were looking for people to join their teams that were already in Gift of Legacy. How does that help? How does that help you to get further? We need more people. We can't just recycle the old people. Recycling happens on our perpetual journey. That's where the recycling counts. And that's because you brought all new blood and new blood is pushing that. And that is recycling. Don't recycle people that are already in this community. Get people that are new because once they get it, the energy is electrifying. Electrifying. I'm so charged up by the new people that I've brought in. And I would love to just share that energy with all of you. So just give it a try. Write down those 10 names and focus the energy on them. And then don't be scared. Just send the link tree. And if they say no, then it just opens the space for even more.
Next.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love you, ladies.
Right.
So lovely to present with you. And thank you for all that you do, be and are.
And back at you, Candz. We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everybody for being here this evening. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
I never get that right. I become dyslexic.